Probably some females too.
Welcome to a new wave of thinking. You're here with Akshita Veda L and El Yagar. It's we the people of the Empire of Nubia. Get ready to open your mind, sit back and unwind to take in the discussion, to prepare us to win. We are sovereign, we are law. We coming with concepts here that are fundamental building blocks, focusing on principles, thoughts, and beliefs. We're here to shake you up, to wake you up. Islamism. The masses is suffering with temporary mental illness of cognitive dissonance. Open up your mind. We are speaking from experience, various perceptions, while we maintain effective communication in the lines of respect. Our thoughts become connected through human cognition, which is the process of acquiring new information and understanding based on personal experience and relatable topics of discussion. We are the currency of the know, knowledge, wisdom through love, bringing peace, justice, and truth as we gain freedom, freedom in the mind. Open up your mind. Freedom of the mind. It's divine. To be one in unity, togetherness, you and me, we become we, and we are the change that we want to see. It is our time now, so come and get ready as we bring a new wave of thinking. It's a new wave of thinking.
Islamism. Okay. Let's see. Okay, there it goes. Peace and love, everybody. Today is November 7th, 2024. It's 10:03 p.m. on the East Coast, 7:03 p.m. on the West Coast. And Side Star Christina, she's still out handling family business. I haven't heard from her, so when I do, I guess you will. And there she is. Islamism, Side Star, how are you? Greetings. Yes, ma'am. I hope everything's going well with you. You know, peace and love. I never. We are on the tube. We're on the channel. You're right here. do you mean you're right here on Facebook? Are you back home? No, thank you, Star, for being you. And she's a wonderful Star, yo. She's a wonderful sister. I got a slow connection over here. You didn't realize? Don't worry about it, Star. In Atlanta. Wow, you're right under. You're a few states. You're 4 hours away from here. If I jumped on an airplane, you just keep creeping closer and closer. I thought you was in Alabama. Okay, yes. Star Christina is out with her family, handling family business, and so we wish her well. We wish them. On Facebook, yes, ma'am. We wish the family well, and you know, I let other people tell their stories. I don't. I'll let her tell when she decides to tell. Okay, so today is November 7th, and I'm not scared. Yes, I admit it. I'm arrogant. Didn't I tell you all Trump was going to win? President Trump, go ahead, dude. Go ahead. You know, it's like so much could be said on that subject of him being president of the United States. So much could be said. But I'm just, and so people, oh, Trump, listen, it's not the person. It's the person within the party. If you understand, if that makes sense to you, if you understand what I'm saying, because just because they're a Republican don't make them right. Just because it's Donald Trump don't make him right. You understand what I'm saying? Just because they're Democrats don't make them right. It's not the party. It's the platforms of the party. And people don't understand. And on Facebook, I have a slow connection. I see this Facebook is playing with me. And I'm stuck on Facebook now, I see. So flip the camera on Facebook and that should fix it. Okay, so it's the platforms of the party. And many of us don't understand the platforms. Islamism, Shalom Baraka family. It's the platform that they operate through. And so through democracy, through the Democrats, they want a big government. That means we keep hiring people in the government in order to do stuff for the people. And the Republicans want big people, little government. That means the people govern themselves. Since I learned that in 1989, I became a Republican back then when I thought I was Black, a United States citizen. I became a Republican. Big people, small government. People are the government. So why we need a big government? Then, you know, I didn't really follow all of the stuff before the debate. But I did see some news thing where Kamala Harris made something like, well, if people got patents and copyrights and we can use it, we could just take it from them. This is what they said Trump was about, right? He's a dictator, Ray. Then how is she standing here talking about taking people's patents and copyright? Even, I think she said it was about drug use, if they made drugs or something like that, then they could take the patents, which when we deal with opioids, I hope I'm saying everything right, because the opioids are killing people right now, right? A lot of people, just like people were hooked on crack, there's a lot of people hooked on opioids now. So some company, if I remember correctly, I know it was on this continent, on North America, where the company was established. But I want to say the company was also from Connecticut, and a husband and wife team, they put this ingredient that became opioids that everybody's killing themselves with. So the company, the people need to go to jail too. See, and you can hit them with all kind of conspiracies for murder and stuff like that. Why? Because they took the time to make a drug that would kill off the people and take the people's minds and kill children, regardless of color, race. None of that made a difference. And when it comes to hurting the people, the only color that ever mattered was green. And you can check that back in history. So if you want to say gold, silver, those are the only colors that ever mattered when it came to the mass of the people. And then if you study sociology and politics and history correctly, the first thing you find out is we the Goyim. The Goyim are the ignorant ones. We don't know how to manage and govern ourselves. This is the world speaking. Obama alluded to at one time, and then the media crashed it and tried to make it sound like he was saying something else. But I listened to the whole speech and I heard what he said. He was repeating what he studied in college when it comes to political science. The mass of the people, they don't know what they want. The people are flimsy. The people are wishy-washy. The people go whichever way the strongest wind blows. So this is how you and I are looked at every single day by the system. I thank the Creator for the teachings of Prophet Noble Drew Ali. Because right now, today, I'd probably be a Republican senator or a congressman or something, if not for the teaching of Prophet Noble Drew Ali. Because after everything I went through, when them people offered me the opportunity, see, I had learned from Prophet, I was able to say no. But if I didn't learn of Prophet Noble Drew Ali's words, I'd have said yes. And right now, here in Connecticut, I'd be a senator, a congressman, working for the system, and then working against my people. So, so why Donald Trump? Well, you know, we say the United States is one nation, we're another nation. I'd rather trade with Donald Trump. He's a businessman. He understands even tariffs and all of that. All the stuff that the media try to feed us that will go against us is actually beneficial to us. To have companies come here and open up jobs because they can't just trade and take profit out. No, you got to give something in order to get something. And this is what Trump is in his speeches. This is what he said he was after. And from doing just regular business, I see that. I understand that with the tariffs and stuff. So congratulations to Trump and to the Republicans finally getting it right. I checked Connecticut and we went 53.7% Democrat and 44.6% Republican. That's how the votes turned out in Connecticut. So this presidential race, although it might be like, you know, it's the president of the United States, so we all think it's big. But the race that's coming up in 2 years, the next 2 years, that's where you're going to vote for your mayor and your senator. These are the most important races because they affect you within the state that they say you live in, within the communities that you live in. The one coming up in 2 years from now. So voting in for the president's race, that's good. But in 2 years, there's a vote coming up in your state that you need to be aware of. Just some civics stuff in case you didn't know. When it's the primaries, you have to vote within your party. But during the full public race, no matter what your party is, you can vote for anybody you want to. You don't have to vote within your party. During the primaries, you're voting within your party for a representative from within your party to represent externally to everybody else. But once we get that and you're done with the primaries, when you go to the polls, like the first time Obama went, like I told you, I was a Republican then. But when Obama ran, I made a racist vote for Obama. Listen to what I said about me. I made a racist vote for Obama. It didn't matter what the other side was saying. Somebody who looked like me was running for office first time and all of that. Somebody who could win. I voted for him. At least get him in. The second time he ran, I didn't vote for him. I didn't vote at all. The second time, because I didn't want to go against. I wasn't going for him. I'm not going to go against him. So I just didn't vote. But even then, I didn't think he was the best candidate to be standing there to be president, Obama. I didn't think he was the best. And so now here we are in 2024, and people are saying it. And people who look like us are saying it. They didn't think Obama was the best for us. So, I mean, it takes time and all of that, right? But before that time goes by, if you sit down and study a little something, by the time that time comes, you'll make a better decision, because it's based not on the media and what the media is saying, and this one said and that one said, but you're making an informed decision. And if your decision isn't informed, if you can't talk about policies and things of that nature, why you voting for somebody, that's a wasted vote. And if somebody's going to really talk to you and work with you with civics, they're going to tell you that. Don't even vote. If you can't talk about the policies, if you can't work with their policy, why are you voting? So, and on both sides, even though I'm not I'm not voting or anything, like, I can speak to their policies on both sides of the table and what it is that they want to bring out, how they want to bring it out and stuff, and whether or not it's beneficial for the people. And just about to bottom line everything, big people, small government versus big government, small people. I am not a person who looks to the government or to any establishment, whether it be a religious establishment or another. I don't look to them to make decisions for me, my household, and what I'm doing. I make those decisions. And then I go outside of my house to those establishments and I tell them what it is for me. And they got to deal with me for me, not based on them. And it should be like that for all of us. But if we're not studying and becoming informed, then you can't work it that way. So yeah, you call me arrogant. I'm right. There's a difference between arrogance and right. An arrogant person turns out to be wrong at the end of the day. Every time I click the lights off, I'm right. I'm not arrogant. I just say I'm arrogant because, like, if I could do something, I'll say it. And if I want to do something, I'll go all the way 100 with making sure that I could do it. And I'm not going to say I could do something without being able to do it. So if that's arrogant, I'll be it. I'll wear it proudly. Just like they made the people had to wear the stars, the scarlet letter. The woman had to wear the scarlet. I'll wear mine because I'm right. So in a conversation this week, I keep telling people, like, I don't have anything against your particular lifestyle. I don't care what you're into. But just because you're into it that don't make me have to have no conversation with you about it. I done told you how I felt about it already. Soon as it was brought up the first time, I dotted the I's, crossed the T's. I never want to have that conversation to talk to these people again about it. The abortion conversation is more about the feminist movement. And the feminist movement has always been against masculinity. So when I hear the words that go with it, I don't have conversation and talk about abortion, because I'm gonna start with I'm a theocratic. I'm a theocracy. I am theocratic. I can't even talk about abortions. I have a different way of seeing it. Because once mommy says, "Oh, I'm pregnant," and the doctor, she's pregnant, that's a life. I don't care how small it is. Young, she found out she's been pregnant for a week. She can't be pregnant unless she has life inside of her. She can't be pregnant without a life inside of her. So if you find room to talk, well, the first 3 weeks and 6, I'm not going there with you with that. You can't talk to me about that. None of that makes a difference. She can't be pregnant if there's not a life inside of her. See, we let other people come into our world, and then the things that should be like common or the things that should be so simple, we lose it trying to qualify other arguments and conversations about the things that they're talking about instead of sticking with us, instead of sticking with your branding. See, you want to get along so much with everybody else in the world. I don't care. Don't nobody care about me. Don't nobody really care about what I like and don't like, especially if I'm not going to enforce it. People will ride right over me to do what they want to do, say what they want to say, have it their way, make you understand the situation where they're coming from. And then what I was saying, they twist it. They put it in another language. They try to say it another way. They try to ask you questions. So no, I just want a yes or no answer. This is not the way you asking doesn't demonstrate anything that I said. So I can't give you a yes or no. The way you're asking only fortifies your side of the story. And I'm not giving you that. So if I'm difficult, once again, I'm weird. But at the end of the day, you and everybody else going to know what I said, as opposed to what you want to think I said or how I said it. I don't know what's wrong with people. I don't know what's wrong with people. But see, this is how they take, like, and we've had these conversations where we spoke about how a guilty person will jump all down your throat to try and make you feel like you did something wrong, but they're really the wrong ones. Why are people still trying to play this game? Especially with me, I've been calling it out since 1999. Why are you still trying to play this game with me? What makes you think it's going to work with me? It's not. You're going to trap yourself. You're going to find yourself saying something. You're going to put your own head on the block trying to deal with me. Listen, anybody who really says, well, I know him, and then they haven't seen me for 5 or 6 years, and then they see me on a live like this speak. Oh, that's that same dude. Yeah, that's the same thing he was saying 20 years ago. He ain't changed none of that. So what makes you think today you can come along and make me change something? What makes you think that you could tell me more intelligently? You don't even read. And then when you do read, it's only what somebody else gave you or put out. Or you want to talk about what somebody else said. You ain't got nothing original to say on your own. Your value to me is shrinking. Because you can only do what other people tell you to do. I get up and move on my own. So that means in between you saying what somebody else doing and me moving the only thing you're going to do is try to trip me up. I got to get rid of you. Something wrong with you. And I'm not scared to point it out. This is politics. You scared to have that kind of backbone for yourself? Well, you think you know everything. I don't know medicine. I don't know. If you got a bone hurting or something, you know a few things. I've been hurt in football and stuff like that, so I can tell you about that. But if you saw something, you'll go see the doctor. Go see someone qualified who studied that. Only thing you got a swollen arm, you either fractured it or you broke it. You want to know what's wrong with it? Go see the doctor. I'm not the one to tell you. You could have sprained it in the swollen too. See, I know that. But which one you have right now, I'm not attempting to tell you that. You're not going to come back and sue me for malpractice. I don't know everything. You want to talk about, should I say the heavens? I'm going to leave that one alone because I understand astrology. But there are people who are deeper into astrology than me. And I will lean on them for some of the understandings rather than trying to give it myself. And I will let it be known, well, I understand it this way. I operate with it this way, but that don't make it right the way I operate with it. Just the way I operated with it. But I'm going to tell people this again. And if you don't like me after this, then don't associate yourself with me. When it comes to politics, history, economics, finance, monetary policy, civics, psychology, sociology, when I open up my mouth, I know what I'm talking about. Period. If you don't like that about me, it's best you leave me, because I'm not going to stop doing what I'm doing. I'm not. You don't like the way I say it or do it, it's best you leave me, because I'm not going to stop. I'm me today, I'm going to be me tomorrow, and I'm not going to let no one interfere with it, because it does me well. And I know how to say, I don't know. Some of my three favorite words, I don't know. Why? Once I realize I don't know, I get to go pick up a book and find out. I get to go pick up a book and find out. And if I don't know, I went and got a book to find out. If you can't say the same thing, so sorry for you. But that's it. Not, whoo. Okay. So, as a grown person, it is our duty to take our experiences and hand them back to our children in a way that's beneficial for them. And when it came to growing up and hearing things, you know, we're becoming men, we're breaking away from our mother and father's teachings. And so we say we're going into the streets, 15, 16, 17. In the 80s and early 90s, it may be into the early 2000s, people went to jail and came home and made jail seem like a campground. Now, you couldn't fool me with it, because don't lock me up ever. Not even for 1 minute. I don't like that. I don't even like the thought of that. However, I see a lot of young people who take that on, who decide or think, I could do, you did 5, I could do 2. I could do 2. No, you can't. Don't even think that way. And so there's a dude who I found on Real Life Productions on YouTube. It's a station, a channel called Real Life, RealLyfe Productions. And they were talking to OG Perry, right? And so when I first hear that OG Perry, I'm thinking, oh, here we go again, and gangster stuff and all of that. But when I listen to the brother, very knowledgeable, very informative, and he's telling people, you stop before you even get started. Stop, because you don't want to do this. You can't do this, so you might as well stop. And this isn't to say you can't do it. This is to say the average person does not want to be locked up. The average person does not want their freedom taken from them. The average person wants to be with their family, right? That's the average person. So that's almost everybody wants to be with their family. But once you get locked up, all of that's over with. They had OG Perry, the guest person they had on there, his name was Vernon. Vernon ended up doing 25 years fed time. He thought it was just going to be sweet and easy because, you know, all the stories. It's going to be fed time. Walked in there and got raped. He wasn't in a gang. he was associated. So when he went in there, he spoke like he was in a gang. And this is part of what got him raped, because he was gang affiliated. So then the gang bring him a shiv and told him he got to do that dude. It wasn't in Vernon. And I'll be dang. Like, when it come to being a real man and saying it, and it's why I like OG Percy for the way he said it to this, for that man to be able to sit there and say, when they gave me the shiv, I just couldn't do it. It's not in me. I'm not that violent person where I could just run over there and stab that next person like that. I feel that. Maybe while it was happening, you could have got hit up. But now, an hour is going by, 30 minutes. That energy, to build up the energy to take another man's life, to take another person's life, I don't comprehend with that too well. So Percy didn't do it. Vernon didn't do it. So you know what happened to Vernon? The people who he said he was down with, the gang he said he was down with, they stabbed him up. They cut him up because he was, you said, and then you're not. So now we gave you, and then you're not doing it. So now let us put you out of all your misery. So they went and hit him up. But it was because he made claims to he made claims to something that he wasn't a part of for real. It's not in here. And if that lifestyle isn't inside of you, you shouldn't be playing with that fire. That was the main part of what I everything that Percy told him in the end. And so a lot of people need to check themselves before they go in there. Man, look, everything that our people are going through, right? It's a two-sided story. It's not as easy as not listening to your parents and getting involved. And I can say that as somebody who grew up in what we're talking about. It wasn't a question of I wanted to be in a gang. I went to school. Some people liked me, some people didn't. The people who didn't like me decided that they would pick on me. The people who did like me decided you shouldn't let yourself get picked on. So we're going to help you not get picked on. Once they decided to help me not get picked on, I couldn't leave them by themselves fighting my battle. Now I'm a punk. So one thing leads to another. Next thing you know, things are out of hand. And so this happens to a lot of young men where people think, oh, well, they just got to make better decisions for that. Some of your sons are trying to come home from school, and if they didn't say yes, some of your sons probably wouldn't even make it in the front door. People better start looking at it like that. See, I'm going to keep bringing it from a different level. I'm going to keep bringing it from, if you don't open up your eyes and do something, we all going to lose. If some of your sons didn't say yes at a certain time, your son wouldn't have came home 5, 6, 7, 8 years ago, and now they're sitting in jail doing 10, 20. And the only reason why they was put in that situation is because we as the parents are too busy doing what we doing to meet them after school to try to keep them out of it. Only reason. So yeah, it's a whole cycle that we have to look at before we criminalize and before we just like knock people down and say people aren't worth anything. Hi, Miss Vicky. Nice meeting you, Miss Vicky. I've been meeting some very beautiful people. So yeah. So as much as Donald Trump is president, Kamala Harris is running for president, as much as all of that is over now, but as much as all of that is going on, Your backyard is more important than that big time stuff. And in 2 years, there's going to be another vote that has to do more with your state and your neighborhood. You know, mayor, senators, maybe a couple of other offices. Aldermen, I think, will be running. These people control your local governments. And that's where your focus should be right now. And for all of those who really want change, well, if you're still a United States citizen, you should be running for office. You should be doing things right now to get your names on the ballots, to go in them offices and see if you can do something different. Capital I, capital F on the if. Because if I just tell you, you're not going to be able to do nothing. You're going to go in there, you're going to put yourself on the outs. If you go in there and start trying to operate the way you think you're going to operate, you're going to put yourself on the outs. All them people that you're going to be working around, you're going to be a troublemaker to them. They're not going to, and when they do it, you'll realize that, they're just giving me the cold shoulder right now. Or, they're listening, but not intently. They're being respectful, listening to you. Much like in the industry, every artist is listened to, but it doesn't mean that they're going to get signed. Come on, man. It's the same thing all over. At every level of our existence, that's how it works. So after a while, some people realize it and just be like, oh, you know what? I'm always going to be on the outs with these people. Why? Am I on the outs because I'm saying and doing wrong? Or am I on the outs because I'm saying and doing right? And because I know I'm saying and doing right, I don't worry about being on the outside. But many people don't have that thick skin either. Many people don't have that I don't give a hoot attitude and just keep moving. Many people feel like, oh, I done spent X amount of years trying to do this one thing. Now I got the opportunity. I'm not going to give it up now. Well, I can show you a million different things. I watched the movie Casino, I think it was Robert De Niro, and Robert De Niro says, if you can't leave it in 5 seconds, that's, whatever you're involved in, you have to be able to drop it and move on within 5 seconds. So all of that is what you got to move with. But don't let other people come and try to tell you something or sham your life because they can't live up to their own expectations of themselves. That's the sad part. They can't live up, they can't do what they need to do in their life. They see you moving, they're going to come and try to tear down what you're doing. Because they don't want you to advance past them. Selfish people. So we say, congratulations, Donald Trump. Let's get it on, JD Vance. Let's get it on. Let's see what y'all gonna bring now. The people want to change. The people now have a change. Let's see what type of change you get. The first time Donald Trump was pretty good. Let's see if he could be even better now, because we know some very, very nice people. All right. So how was your week? Because I kind of did something to me. Last week was my birthday. I hurt myself some kind of way. I ate something wrong. I could have drank something wrong, but I think I ate something wrong. I had headaches. Probably had a mild flu or something. I hate to say that, but the way I went down, body aches and sweats. I think it was the flu. Okay. That's that. NOG. 40 minutes. All right, so yeah, so like I said, I'm not gonna sit here and just talk by myself all night. And I get Star. I never got to ask you. All the music is gone. I see a few things, but now I'm nervous because I don't know where they came from. I see a few songs, new songs and stuff, but I don't know where they came from. And I don't like just playing my music. But you got some new stuff in here. I'm scared to press it. But let's press this dance and see what we get. Okay, that, like I said, I don't know what these songs are, and that sounds like some disco pop tune, stuff like that. I've never heard it before. I have to listen to it later if I listen to that. That's not really in. That's not in me. Okay, so let's see. Donald Trump, the stock market. I've been watching. The stock market has been doing better since Donald Trump won. I guess people feel more at ease. Putin has nothing but good things to say now about America. Maybe he'll stop bombing Ukraine now. My personal thought here, as I'm going, I watch a lot of YouTube for different things, right? There's always these videos about the end of the world. And I saw something that was posted 2 or 3 months ago saying that the dude from China, forgetting his name, was going to blow up the United States, and by November 5th. That's the part I remember, right? These are the people who should be kicked off for false news and sensationalism. When you put stuff up like that, especially like if it happened, then there's no reason to kick you off, right? But when it doesn't happen, somebody, where you get that information from? Then why you post that? Huh? There's some other ones up in here too. The Diddy thing is big, Jay-Z. But the way they, or what do they call it? There's something that they call it. Not fishing. The way they put it on there, like they got pictures of P. Diddy, and he'll be in his house, I guess. And then they got, Diddy's freak off parties. Somebody speaks out. And the person never comes on the video and speaks out. That's false advertisement, isn't it? At least that's the way I grew up. That's the way I understood it. You're giving false information so that you get the views on here, and that should be flagged. That should be stopped. You flag it. I don't think it's my job to flag it either. But the YouTube should flag it, because if it says Jay-Z finally says, and then you watch it and Jay-Z didn't say anything through the whole thing, like I'm sitting there talking through the whole thing after I said Jay-Z finally tells, but I don't tell you anything about what Jay-Z finally told, then my channel should be stricken. Now, I should receive a strike for that. That video should be pulled. And I'm talking because they pulled one of our videos, one of our We the People videos off YouTube, or StreamYard pulled it off. because we made a comment about something they don't want us to talk about, right? And so we talked about it. It had the number 19 after it. They pulled our video. So these videos on here that are claiming that somebody said something and they never said anything, they should pull those videos off YouTube too, because they're the most misleading videos I ever seen in my life. The majority of those videos are so misleading. I don't understand it. How they get to stay up here every single day and you just, I forget what they call it. It's some type of bait, fish bait or something like that, that they're using to pull you in to see their videos. The fish bait, that's one thing. When you say somebody said something to a subject and that person never comes on and says anything, you sit there and do all the talking. That's false. And being that clickbait, thank you, Zystar, clickbait. That's false information, because the video I watched, Jay-Z never came on there and said anything. But in the ad, that's what it was supposed to be, Jay-Z saying something. So since he didn't, clickbait, that type of clickbait should be gone. You can use another type, I don't know what it would be, but it should be something else. It's just all this what it fake news, fake media. Come on, people. When are we gonna grow up and start acting like adults? When are we gonna start being responsible? So that was the other thing about this week that really, like, I'm like, what is this? If Jay-Z says something, I want to hear what Jay-Z said. Tell the truth, I want to know. Y'all remember that one? I want to know. Somebody want to know. If Jay-Z is speaking to this Tupac stuff, to this P. Diddy stuff, I want to know what Jay-Z has to say about it, because Jay-Z hasn't spoken. And not because I'm nosy, but because it is like where we get our music from. Who do we get our music from? We get them from the same people, right? And so if all these people are speaking and they're talking and they're doing things, then let us know. But if they're not, don't make a fake video about them, period. That's my whole thing about it. Next, you make a fake video about me. And then they'll let it stand. That's the part that gets me, because when we tell the truth, you pull it off. When we're speaking what's real to us and our people, you pull it off. But all this fake, ignorant garbage that I see, y'all just let it pass by like it means nothing. Do y'all know? All right, so even Facebook, I should have tagged Facebook. If I thought I was going to go this far with it, I would have. I've tagged them before. I shared a picture one day, and I shared it saying, oh, you're going to tag us for words and shut people's pages down for words, but you got half naked women coming through here with their legs open in the videos and stuff. And it wasn't like a regular person's video. It's like an ad for what she's selling. And right in the middle, it's a whole list of them, like people you know. Like you can tell when people are on your page because they keep popping up in people you know, and then they want to act like they're not on your page watching you. But it was another one. And then it had just women in there half naked. But you get on us about what we say. You people are backwards. Check yourselves. We could say almost anything as long as we're not violent and stuff. Them videos coming through, them little pictures coming through, those what I get in my message box. Oh, if you want to get to know me, then click over here and see my news. Y'all know it's there. Yes, ma'am. It always feels like somebody's watching me. always feels like somebody's watching me. Anybody and everybody else could do whatever they want, or the dirt they want. Boy, I stand up and spit in the wrong direction and the wind blow the wrong way, and here come the handcuffs. Well, is everybody ready? We got Thanksgiving coming up. And I know we don't really celebrate it, but this is the one time of the year most of our families get together and stuff like that. So everybody is together, but we shouldn't celebrate it. But this is the only time of the year that people get off together, where you got almost a week's vacation or a long weekend where people can get together and just sit down and relax, right? So here comes that time of the year. People about to go out and spend thousands of dollars they don't even really have to put food on the table, presents under a tree, and decorate and make everything. But this is really the only time of the year that you get to sit back and relax and do it, huh? I don't know what I don't know where people are going. So yeah, I just wanted to come up here tonight, congratulate DT for doing the thing. It's about to be a very lovely. He's about to run this United States corporation very well. Very well. So well, in fact, a whole bunch of people they've already forgotten that we're supposed to be running our own government ourselves. That's how well Donald Trump is going to do. Then, all right, so like I said, I'm always right. Let's make predictions. Donald Trump won. It's quieter than we thought it would be, isn't it? People thought Trump was going to win. It was going to explode. Trump won. Armies go to war in the springtime. By March, April, and it's already proven because it's already happened, they will be talking about marching in the streets again. Big protests and rallies for different things. That part, we should be taking care of our own business. They're going to be talking about marches and rallies for different reasons. And I'm going to say again, don't go to them streets marching. We might not like the results this time. And it's not because of Trump. Attitudes are tart today like silent farts. Don't go to these streets marching, and don't blame Trump when the security people come out with the hoses and the dogs and their nightsticks. It's already been written. It's already been written. 2030. Didn't I just say they should shut people off when they make predictions about stuff? I just told you come this March and April, they're going to be marching. So y'all can go all the way back to this one. Then oh, he was wrong. They're going to be marching. All winter, they're going to rest. But in the springtime is when armies go back to war. And this is historical fact, not what goes on today, not what goes on since 1920, and they started fighting in the winter. It used to be that a country would go to war, but all their men would return home during the winter months and then into the spring, so they get the crops going again, and then they would go into war. So that happens now on a civic level or on a social level within our communities, when you see people marching in the street. That's a war. No, it's not. We're protesting for our peace. I went to one of these days, I'm going to pull it out before I get on here. I went and sat through a Martin Luther King training camp where they teach you how to go out in the streets and march. And they tell you it's nonviolent and all that. In that class, they tell you it's a war. Because you are asking for something that either somebody didn't give you or don't want you to have. So now you're out, give it to me, give it to me, give it to me. They're sitting at home saying, no, that's a war. That's a fight. They call it an antithesis. I say these things and I remember, oh, wait, maybe the people don't know what I'm saying. Then I figure I got to express it all to you. But I said antithesis. And if you're not going to look up what an antithesis is, then I don't need to express it to you. I mean, that's who I am, right? Because that's how I learned. Even when it came down to the Moors, they said things to me, but I had to be the one to go check it out for myself. If I didn't go check it out for myself, what sense does it make for me to turn around and repeat it? Once I studied it for myself, I was able to relate it to different things that I really, really knew about. And since I was able to relate it to those things that I really, really knew about, I could make more sense of it than when somebody else just said it to me, or if I just try to use their words, or if I want to repeat it later. I didn't give it the same way I got it because I got to understand it in a different way on my own, from my own experience. And that's the most valuable thing you have is your own experience. But I didn't have to lose none of my fingers or toes to understand certain things I don't want to happen to me. when we talk about experience, I want to know for myself. I want to learn for myself. So you mean to tell me in order to learn, you're willing to lose your head? If you lose your head, you didn't learn anything. You can't learn if you lost your head. That part of the game is kind of over, the learning part. If you can't keep your body intact, if you can't keep what you have intact in making a mistake in learning and getting experience, if you can't keep things right that you have right now, then you've done more than made a mistake or an experience. And it's kind of like you just threw away what could have been beneficial in order just to go experience or to go play at something. That's what the difference is. And this is, I'm almost 60. I'm speaking from experience. I'm speaking from giving stuff up in order to move forward, grabbing other stuff and letting other stuff go in order to move forward. And I still got all my fingers and toes, and I haven't been through half the stuff other people have. And I'm not bragging. I'm not being arrogant. I'm telling young people how to get to 60 without all the BS that comes with it. Should I say that comes with it? I'm not going to say it comes with it. I'm showing young people how to become 60 without diminishing any value of themselves. That's what's being shown to them. How to grow without diminishing anything that they have of value today. That's more important than anything else. You make a mistake, but as long as you didn't lose any progress in that mistake you made, you're cool. If you start losing things in your mistake that and you done been told how not to make that mistake, but I gotta know for myself, then that's just a fool. See, this is that's part of my arrogance that I'm gonna speak with. That's just a fool. If you gotta lose stuff in order to, because I want experience. And you know people already lost that way. I stand on my own. I guess that was O.G. Perry's advice to Vernon too, when he told him the people who interviewed him said, O.G. Perry, can you tell us one thing Vernon could have did before he got there that would have made it a little easier for him? And Perry said he closed his mouth. Close his mouth. He went up in there talking about he was a Crip. So when he said it, the people who heard him was like, oh, he one of us, he damn. When it came time to be about it, he wasn't with it. So the Crips themselves was ready to do this man in. That's sad. That's sad. So, because he put himself in that situation, it's sad. But as O.G. Perry told him, they also asked both of them, they said, tell us the first jail story you ever heard. And O.G. Perry was like, well, you know, that's kind of hard. And Percy jumped in and said, no, it's not. The first jail story we all ever heard was, you're making all the right choices to go to jail. How many of us ever heard that? How many can say they didn't hear that? I feel bad for you if your parents didn't tell you that. O.G. Perry said, that's the first story all of us heard. You're making all the right decisions to go to jail. That right there was your wake-up call, our wake-up call, and we look past it to be us because we got to learn from experience. It ain't never safe to lie to kick it. No, well, sister, he didn't really lie. What he did, he embellished what it was. He knew some Crips. Some of the people he knew he was rolling with, they were Crips. I think they robbed a bank. He robbed a bank with some Crips, but he wasn't down with the Crips. He was from the suburbs. He didn't even live in a hood. He was from the suburbs. Made some friends, went and robbed a bank. He got caught. He didn't tell on any because that would be snitching because he went to rob the bank with them. He got caught, not everybody else. So he took his time, but he embellished the entire story of who he was with inside of it and being a Crip. Okay, same thing. Okay, okay, same thing. He made it bigger than what it was, what his situation was. But then it was the Crips who ended up splitting him up. Because after he got touched by another man in there, he didn't handle the way the Crips told him to. So they felt it. So they went in and they did him. He didn't die. He's out now. He did 25 years in the pen. He's somebody who tell you it ain't worth it. Like I'm trying to tell you, it ain't worth it. It ain't worth it. Being locked up under somebody else's custody for 1 minute is not worth $1 million. You get locked up for 1 minute, I'll give you $1 million. Nope. Sit down and watch a minute go by. And tell me that's not a long time. If you sit down without anything in front of you and try to count out the minute, you know, put an alarm on, start it, click, and then sit there and count and see after you count to 60, how long does that buzzer go off as soon as you say 60? Or is there another 3 or 4 seconds behind you in that time? Embellishment is a lie. That 60 seconds feels like an hour. Yes, that 1 minute will feel like an hour. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Because you're waiting on it. Because you're waiting on it. And then Not many of us can count properly in seconds. And I miss by 5 and 6 seconds. Like after I do it, I have to count 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, and I get to 5 or 7 before it's actually a minute. So a minute is a long time. No, you can't have me locked up for a minute for $1 million. No, because what could happen in that minute? That's a long minute. You could lose your life in a minute. You go in, you're alive for 30 seconds. Next, 15 seconds go by, you're dead. 45 seconds, 15 seconds left over in that minute, and you're dead. What you gonna do with that $1 million when you're dead? When you're sitting in solitary confinement? O.G. Percy said it's like he's never been in a casket buried, but in his analogy, being in that confinement is like being, you like, just imagine you're in a coffin, you're banging on the coffin after they done buried you under the ground, you're banging on. Does anybody hear you? Is anybody aware of you? No. That's jail. That's jail. And the only reason why our young brothers from the mid 90s, from the 90s till now end up in there is because a lot of us who came before, we glorified being in there. We tried to make it seem like it was nothing. So those coming up underneath us, they had to be men too. So it's nothing. It don't mean nothing. It means everything, man. Lose your. We see it. We see it, but we don't get it. We see it, but we don't get it. And then Vernon got raped in jail. And O.G. Percy was giving him props for coming out telling people what happened to him in jail. Because as they said, a lot of people will go to their deaths with that secret. Yes, man, they begin to aspire to look forward to going to jail, to getting that mark. And that's where a lot of the young men locked up right now, that's what happened. They didn't want to be punks on the block. So they had to do whatever, and now they're sitting in jail too. The responsible people understand what I'm saying to them. The responsible people, they might not like it, but they understand what I'm saying to them. And when I say I'm not saying responsible because or whatever with jail. I'm saying for real, the responsible people, the people who don't want to go to jail, the people who don't want to do wrong, the people who will fight to do right. Those are the responsible people. So I'm not speaking on anybody who went to jail saying the responsible. No, I'm speaking on those who probably never even been. And they know I'm telling the truth. And then the ones who have been and gotten out, they know I'm telling the truth. You don't want your child in there? Yes, ma'am. And homeboy came out and he revealed it. And with Vernon, his name is Vernon, with him revealing it like that, right? And y'all just feel me. Feel what I'm saying, brothers. For all my sun stars out there that we formerly called brothers, understand what I'm saying to you. If y'all did begin to speak up, the ones who got touched in there, doesn't that sound like some class action suit about to happen on them? When they got you in there, they're responsible for your security or life, for your safety. They're responsible. Now, we might try to fix it where they're not, and we might try to help them out and say they're not. But if they lock you away, they're responsible for your health and your safety. So when you get hurt, you have a case worth suing them. And if you was raped in there, then the sexual assault goes on to jail. They didn't do their job properly. Whatever guards were on that floor where you got raped, they're responsible for you getting raped. Whatever the head guy, I forget what they call them, the lieutenants, the captains, they're responsible for you getting raped in there. If you got raped. And there's a lot of shame, I guess, in coming out saying it, whatever. But if you work it right, you could probably sue them in some private capacity, sue the jail, where as a victim, your name's not going to be put in the public or anything like that. But because a case started, 20 other people jump on, and now y'all sue that private company that owns the jail. A private company. I don't think people, man, come on, man. It's like, I swear, man, like, that's why if people don't like me and the way I do things, there's nothing I'm gonna say about it, because I can't help it. I'm gonna tell the truth. I can't help it. If you don't like it, you just don't like it, as far as I'm concerned. That's all there is to it. But I refuse to diminish any part of it. The diminishing is how we got in this problem. Oh, don't worry about it. Everybody thinks that way. Oh, well, that's just the way it is. Oh, well, there's nothing we can do about it. You sound weak. And to me, it's disgusting to me. It's disgusting. Grown men sound weak. Keep letting everybody else push us around for what? What? They pushed us around, now they pushing our sons and our grandchildren around. When they came for my grandson, ooh. If my daughter wasn't on the porch, by the way the cop acted, if he had touched my daughter, like, I wouldn't even be talking to y'all right now. So I had to chill the situation because my daughter was getting heated, right? And now this cop talking about, you're not touching my daughter, and you're not arresting her at all. So I had to chill that situation out. So we went to the police station. They had one of them police commission meetings. We had to let them know right then and there. Don't come at us like that. You making a mistake. And not like, don't come at us because we're going to F you up and all that. No. Don't come at us like that, because we're them people who will turn around, and just like we coming to see you, we know how to write. And we will write that up and put it in court and sue the pants off you. But if you had touched my daughter, then yes, we'd have been out there getting it in. And it took him and them other 5 cops he has there, it took all of them to calm me down, because you touched my child, my daughter. But after we left the police station, they kind of understood where we was coming from, right? Because my daughter is a upright standing citizen. She's a supervisor at her workplace, and she can't lose none of that because you want to play super cop tonight. And even though I'm gonna let y'all, I'm not against the police. Let's put that out there. Just certain elements of the police I am darn sure against, and don't have no problem letting them know when I'm against them, or the individual one. I've invited them to take their badges off. They never do, but take it off. Put the gun down. I don't carry one. I don't have no weapon on me. Put your gun down. They won't do it. So it don't even make sense to try to deal with them that way, right? They always gonna come correct with their badges, a warrant, a gun on their side. That's how that's correct to them, to come like that. But every once in a while, they're out of balance. And it's when they're out of balance. That's when you're supposed to be a shark. That's when you're supposed to be a piranha on them, when they're out of balance. But we too busy taking their everyday procedure to try to say something about or do something about it. It ain't worth it. Wait till that officer 495, wait till he's out of balance and then rip him a new one. You have every right to do that lawfully. Lawfully. And you got me now, you got that word embellishment spinning through my head because Hollywood will take a real life story and embellish to make the story bigger. Right. To make the story bigger than what it actually was. So the word embellish, it means to adorn or make beautiful. This is this book. It means to adorn or make beautiful. So I will say he lied within his embellishment of the story. I will say that. He did. He lied within his embellishment because he made himself seem like he was more of a Crip than he actually was. So yeah, you lied because you wasn't a Crip to be out there claiming to be a Crip. He wasn't a Crip to be out there saying he was. Because when the time came, he said it. I didn't have the heart to do none of that. I didn't run over there and stab no man up like that. Okay. Yes, ma'am. But he got broken down, didn't he? He got broken down when it was time to do the job. That's when he found out what he was really made of. The guy said if you had a gun, would it have been easier? I don't know. No. Because it's not in him. It's not in him. And I'll be honest with you, right? I could defend whatever it takes, but it is not in me to just run up and try to take somebody's life. I could never do that. I apologize. My mama ain't raised me like that. Very few reasons I could think of a reason to take somebody's life. And then on a revenge tip, that to me is kind of cowardly too. It's on revenge. I need a bigger reason. Yeah. So I hear Vernon on not doing that. And I hear OG Percy on what he said to that man about him not doing it. Vernon should have been saying no to everything. But you know what? When he was out in the street, out in the world, he thought it was all good. He wanted to play gangster. Caught 25 years in the feds and thought it was going to be sweet because he was going to the feds. Went to the feds, played the wrong way, and ended up being somebody's girlfriend at the end of the night. Is that story repeated throughout the hood? And if it is, y'all got a right to sue the system. Y'all got a right to sue. The public don't have to know who you are. That's the thing. The public don't have to know who you are. Only the people you suing have to know who you are. So y'all should be going somewhere, and I would love send me a letter, hit me up and tell me you want. I won't say your name, and people know I won't say their names. I keep your secrets. Send me a letter. I'll help you draft a letter that takes them and get you in court with them. I wouldn't care if it was 20, 30 years ago. You was violated, man. Tell them, heal yourself so you can help heal those around you. But you got to heal yourself first. And I help draft that letter to help heal you. Now, you give me a fake name. You put your real name in later. I don't need to know your name. I'm not asking you about none of your business. But I will help you draft that letter that you need to send to a federal court to get you some type of justice. There really ain't none after something like that. So whatever you get out of it is what you get. But that they know, boy, when I talk about psychology, read something on the psychology, criminal psychology, criminals and psychology, the psychology of criminality. Read things along that line. Yes, ma'am, I am on YouTube. Yes, ma'am. Read something along those lines about the psychology of crime. So I deal with myself. The perception was that after oh wow, yes, ma'am, it's not showing. I don't understand why. I am on there. The perception was that I would lose confidence in myself. And that I would begin to do crime. And I'm laughing because it's like all these educated people who sit down and write this stuff out. They never figure out the one that would slip through their cracks, or the one that wouldn't meet their standards, from not even committing a crime to after I get out. I don't got to participate in any of that other stuff over there to satisfy you. Well, as a felon, it's hard to get a job. I'll go to work for myself. I wasn't asking people for a job before I went to jail. What makes you think I'm really be asking people for a job when I get out? Is you stupid? And this is where my arrogance, I'm rock with it. Because I had somebody tell me one day, you got too much pride. Pride? Let me tell you about my pride. When everybody else was doing crack, my pride wouldn't let me do crack with you. When certain dudes got certain offers, my pride wouldn't allow me to take them offers. So I can be me today. I can stand in any room, anywhere, and stand on the same grounds that I'm telling you. I can stand in any room and say the same thing and still be the same person because I didn't do them things. I didn't participate. I didn't think I needed to participate. Never. Every adult in my life made me know that. My mother, my father, my grandmother, my uncles, my aunts, they all stayed in our chest and let us know, you're supposed to see yourself higher than anybody else sees you. You're supposed to see yourself higher than anybody else sees you. That's how you're supposed to see you. No, but they don't got to see you that way. That's how you see. And if you don't see yourself that way, they're not going to. And when you see yourself that way, trust me, there's going to be a whole lot of people who see your light and want to pull you down because they're miserable in their own world. Ain't that right? Ain't that right? I know I'm not talking to Side Star Christina. There's another Side Star watching. Ain't I telling the truth? When the light's too bright, you want to dim it, huh? You want to unscrew the light bulb. You want to dim the light. You want to put on shades because you don't have a high idea and attitude of yourself. Do you dare think I will let you include me in your mess? Heavens no. Heavens no. And there ain't nothing you can give me worth it. Nothing. A lot of you brothers don't know. The Side Stars don't take us seriously because they figure, well, he said it, but he won't feel that way next month. He's about to change his mind. And when they come at you like that, a lot of them sit around and wait for you thinking that you're going to change your mind or that you're going to see a new light or you're going to see the light from them. Or once they give themselves to you, that's going to make you see the light and want to do things more alone. A lot of sisters operate from that perspective. And at the age we are, when I meet Side Stars who operate that way, because I'm meeting you now. If I met you within the last 4 or 5 years, and that's how you were operating, it's because the other men before me did that. You gave them yourself and they changed their mind. They came up with a new idea. They started thinking a new way. But it was totally against the way you met them. But when I speak, that's what it is. I don't go back. And I only go back by learning something. So it's like one young lady, she was talking to me and she kept telling me about she was always talking about property, housing, and things of this nature, right? And I'm not saying she was wrong. I am saying I didn't have any real knowledge about what she was talking about. So I found some videos about real estate, and the real estate people were saying some of the stuff she said. Only they were saying it with the law involved. Oh, well, I don't know everything. Here goes a real estate video. The next time you want, listen to what it says, and then tell me what you were saying based upon what this person said, because they added laws to what they were saying. I ain't heard nothing yet, and I barely even talk to that Side Star now. She don't call me no more. Why? Why? I reinforced what you were saying. I helped you have a foundation and firm ground for your words. But now you don't want to talk about it. Why? Because you think I went above you because I found more words that said what you said? Because I told you from now on, talk when you want to say that to me, say it from this level right here. Oh, you couldn't listen to the video? Or is it you listen to the video, but you don't want to do the studies that come with it? Then why are you talking to me? We might as well cut the conversation right here. There's no reason for us to talk because you don't want to talk about it for real. You just want to say, I feel, I think, I feel, I think, I feel, I think. This world don't work off how we feel and think. I feel like I should have $1 grillion in my pocket right now. Oops, I got some coins rolling around. See, that's how I feel. That's what I think. Don't make it reality. So telling you that I feel and think I should have $1 grillion, don't put it in my pocket. So it's not going to work. If you can't show me the reality of it, it's not going to work. But then when I show you the reality of things, I feel, I think, I feel, I think. Man, go take that to some other dude, man. You know, go take that to somebody else who's entertained by stuff like that. I'm not entertained. No growth. I like to grow every single day in everything that I do. When we say we're students for life, I mean that. I don't know if you do. When I say I'm a Moor and I live by Moorish principles, I mean that. So if you ask me a political question about gay people, about abortion, about climate, it's all going to have a Moorish answer. If you don't want the Moorish answer, what are you talking to me for? What are you bringing that up for? Only thing we need to talk about, or we could talk about, is, what's good food. Maybe clothing that we like. Superficial conversations that mean nothing to nobody. Because you keep trying to defend what's going on over here, and the people over here, who we all as Moors, if they're operating from the idea that they're Black, African American, United States citizens, we already say they're wrong. So anything that follows that is basically wrong. Any rights you try to make inside of that is basically wrong. So how are you going to engage me in a conversation, or want me to engage in a conversation that comes from that mindset? It's wrong. I'm done with it. So yeah, I'm going to keep the same attitude. And I hope you do too. I really hope you do. Come at me with no sideways stuff. Done told you. Moorish American, live by a Moorish American laws, principles, duties, accountability, responsibility, and I'm not going to let it go. Nothing you can say, nothing no one can do can make me let it go. The only way is that my version of it is going to be gone is when they bury me. And when I first met you, you told me that they was going to kill me for the way I talk and think, right? Those were your words. Ooh, they're going to kill you. They who? I'm inviting your friends to come do their job. I'm not burning. I'm not burning. Send your people. So, okay. This has been Real Talk from We the People. And I'm hoping, like, if you want to know something, you ask me a question, I'll respectfully, answer, talk, whatever, we could conversate. But from this point forward, I'm telling you, you heard what I said about most situations. Don't try to have a conversation with me about it the way you want to have a conversation. You better start with the words I said. and then relate it to me. Because other than that, I don't know what you're talking about. Well, if you're going to be in government, people who, this is what the people, they want to talk about abortion and I don't care. I don't care if a woman gets raped, she has a right. If she wants an abortion, I say she can have an abortion. I mean, I agree that at that time she got raped. She don't want that memory. She wants an abortion. She can have an abortion. But if you just out here and you giving yourself up and you get pregnant, you don't have no right to no abortion just because you got pregnant. The creator chose that life to be in you. But if you got raped, no, this ain't, it's about a woman's body. No, it's not. That's what them feminists taught you. You're talking to me like a feminist right now. You claim to be a Moor. You sound like a feminist. And feminist is against the matriarch. The matriarch isn't against feminists, but feminists are against the matriarch because feminists are against masculinity. So you can't defend feminist movement stuff with me. I'm too intelligent for that. I'm too studied for that. That whole Planned Parenthood was about destroying our families, just like Black Lives Matter. Right on Black Lives, I read it for myself after I heard somebody else say that. Ooh, for real? I went up there and it said that they want to get rid of the nuclear family. What's the nuclear family? Mother, father, child. Black Lives Matter wanted to get rid of the nuclear family. If you get rid of the nuclear family, how do we continue existence? This is the part everybody's missing. This is why when it comes to homosexuality, I don't care. But when it comes to being a man, I'm not participating. I don't think men should be participating. When it comes to women, I don't care. I love women. So if there's two of them together, I could be with both of them and impregnate both of them to continue the existence of beings. But definitely, two men aren't producing a daggone. Well, neither are two women. But the two women, I could go over there with them. See, I told y'all, double standards and all that. Yes, I'm a man. I have flaws like everybody do. One of my flaws could be defending that with women. It could be. It could be. But it's nothing I will force women into. It's not a prerequisite to a relationship that they be with each other. But if they are together, I don't care. But I'm not fighting for it or against it either way. And when it comes to the gay men, I'm not fighting for or against them either. I am saying, don't try to include me in it. Don't try to make it like, well, homosexuality rights, and from the man's perspective, that's the same thing as you fighting for your rights. No, it's not. No, it's not. Homosexuality is not a nationality. Homosexuality is not a nationality. So it can't be the same thing I'm fighting for. It's not the same thing I'm fighting for. Well, it's your right. It's not the same thing. And so you rights for, you see, you are begging somebody for your rights. I'm telling them what my rights are under my nationality. There's a difference between me asking and me telling. And I'm telling you what I'm doing. I'm telling them what my rights are. I'm not asking for anything. This is not the civil rights movement. I'm not asking for anything. I'm telling what my rights are. You don't understand the difference in telling and asking? You should probably go sit down. No, go sit your tail down. See the difference? Work that with a child. Tell a child, you should probably go sit down. Then tell a child, go sit your butt down and let's see how they move. You should probably give them thought. You telling them makes them go sit down. I'm telling them what my rights are. I'm not asking. So what you're fighting for and what I'm telling about, they're two different things. So we won't equate them ever. They are not in harmony with each other. And I'm not going to let them be politically, socially, or any other way. They're not going to ever equate to the same thing. I'm not brain dead. I'll never let you put that over on me. So this has been another fabulous show. When I catch up with Star Christina, we'll get this music right on here so that we can I think she took her music down. And I think I know why. Which, if that's the reason, I love you, Star. If that's the reason she took it down. But I'm just shocked because this is the second time I went in here and I'm really realizing that music, like the first week, last week when I went on, I just figured like I did something wrong, but now going in here, there's a lot of music missing that was in here. And so I think she took it out and I know why. It's cool. It's cool. Better stuff coming. That's what that means. Better stuff coming. So yeah, y'all, it's real. It's been real. I just, through the week we go through stuff, and so I had to let it off some of it. Because people be thinking I'm mad. I'm not mad. I gotta keep telling them I'm not mad. Oh, you talk like I speak very firmly. Very firmly. Just so you and I, who I'm communicating with, we don't get confused. You don't think I meant. There's no way for you to think I meant. As soon as you say, well, I thought you meant, well, you wasn't listening to me, was you? You wasn't listening to me. Because if you was listening to me, there's no way you thought I meant. I said what I said. I meant what I said the way I say. Well, I was just thinking, when it comes to me, I'm not telling anybody to stop thinking, but when it comes to me and you trying to figure out who I am, stop thinking. Unless you're thinking about what I said, about what you see me doing or not doing. That's how you determine who I am and what I'm about and what my next step might or might not be, by what I said and what you see me doing or not doing. And if you try to operate off what I said or off anything else, you're going to make a mistake. And you're going to be wrong in the end. I'm telling everybody right now. People think it's a joke, man. This ain't no joke. 100. I stay 100. It's too much fun doing right to do any wrong. Islam, Islamism. Till next week, people. Peace and love.